All right, let's talk about something that drives pretty much every project a little bit crazy: vague requirements. We're going to break down a really simple but super powerful structure that can take those confusing requests and turn them into crystal clear scenarios that you can actually build and test. Let's dive in.
Okay, first things first. Let's talk about a problem that I know we've all faced. It's that feeling you get when a task lands on your desk and it's just, well, it's ambiguous, it's incomplete.
Seriously? Think about it. Have you ever read a user story and just thought to yourself, what does this actually mean? Or maybe the classic, how in the world am I supposed to test this? Yeah, you are definitely not alone on that one.
And, this isn't just a small annoyance. This kind of ambiguity is the source of so many problems down the line. It's what leads to developers building the wrong thing, testers not knowing what to check for, and ultimately it leads to painful delays and just endless rework. There has to be a better way.
And of course there is. So we're going to look at a structure that is specifically designed to bring clarity out of that chaos. It's called given, when, then. And trust me, it's an incredibly powerful tool for getting everyone on the same page.
So what is this thing? Well, at its heart, given/when/then is a way to completely reframe our requirements. Instead of talking about abstract features, it forces us to describe observable system behavior. It turns a single, fuzzy sentence into a concrete mini-scenario that everybody can look at and say, yep, I get it.
So how does it actually work? Well, the real magic here is in its beautiful simplicity. It's made up of just 3 parts, and each one has a very clear, very important job to do.
First, you've got given. This sets the stage. It describes the world before anything actually happens. Like given a user is logged into their account. Then you have when. This is the action, the event, the trigger. When the user clicks the save button. And finally, you have then. This is the crucial part, the observable outcome. What should change? What should we actually see happen? Then a confirmation message pops up. Given, when, then. Context, action, and outcome. Pretty simple, right?
Okay, theory is great and all, but let's see how this plays out with a real-world example that we can all get our heads around. This is where you'll really start to see the power of this thing.
So here's our starting point, a classic, super simple requirement. Seems straightforward, doesn't it? But is it? What does valid actually mean? And what's supposed to happen if their credentials are not valid? This one little sentence leaves a ton of room for people to guess.
Now just watch this transformation. We start with that vague requirement on one side, and then we apply the given, when, then structure. Suddenly what we get is this concrete set of testable scenarios that covers both what happens when it works and what happens when it fails. Let's break those down. First up, we define the happy path. The ideal world where everything goes exactly right. Given a registered user with a valid username and password. When they enter those credentials and click that login button. Then they are taken straight to their dashboard. See how specific that is? There's no ambiguity at all. You know exactly what to build and exactly what to test. But look, the happy path is just the beginning. The real strength of this whole approach is how it forces you to think about what happens when things don't go so perfectly. So we just add another scenario. Given a registered user, but this time, whoops, with an incorrect password, when they try to log in. Then an error message gets displayed and they are denied access. Just like that, we've explicitly defined both the success case and the failure case. The requirement is now complete.
So, why is this simple 3-part structure so dang effective? Well, it solves a few fundamental problems that just plague software development and honestly, pretty much any kind of project work.
First, like we've been saying, it just destroys ambiguity. There's no room to misinterpret things. Second, it makes testing feel completely natural. Each one of these scenarios is basically a ready-made test case. Third, and this is a big one, it creates a shared understanding. Your developers, your testers, your product owners, everyone is looking at the exact same description of behavior. And finally, it shifts the team's entire focus from thinking about abstract features to thinking about concrete user behavior, which is really the whole idea behind approaches like behavior-driven development or BDD.
Now, this is a powerful tool, but you want to use it in the right places. It really shines when a system's behavior depends on its current state, or when you know there are a bunch of different outcomes or edge cases you got to consider, and especially if you're trying to set up automated testing. If you're working in an agile or BDD world, this structure is basically your superpower.
So here's the bottom line. Given/when/then isn't just some formatting trick.
It's a thinking tool. It forces you and your team to have those important conversations up front, to uncover all those hidden assumptions and to build a shared language so that everyone is on the same page, building the right thing from the get-go.
And that brings us to the end. I'm just going to leave you with a question to think about. As you go back to your work, what's that one vague requirement, that one fuzzy user story that you could reframe using given, when, and then? Just try it out. I think you'll be pretty amazed at the clarity it brings. Thanks for watching.